Well, I saw Andrew Wolnez about, I don't know, 10 minutes ago or so. As long as he doesn't approach me, I don't have reason to actually record him. He was approaching me. And of course, the way that the bushes are over there, I could only see his hand for a little bit of a split second as he was walking. I wasn't sure if he had a weapon or not. It kind of looked like it. It turned out that he didn't, which is good, but I did make sure that I had my pepper spray in my hand just in case he approached me with a weapon. If he didn't have a weapon, then I don't have any reason to spray him or taser him. If he's not carrying a weapon, I can just record it. However, it did seem to me that he was approaching me, that he might have possibly had something in his hand. Now, if I'm in a vehicle and he walks up to my vehicle and he's got a pipe in his hand, or he's got a gun even, it'd be nice if I could have some way to defend myself from a distance weapon. Now, there's been a few people that I've known that ended up having family members that were killed while driving, and nearly all of them said that the guy who killed the driver was someone who walked up and shot them point blank. By opening my door, I force him to have to try to do it from a distance if he has one. That decreases his chances of hitting me. Also, if he steps within range of my pepper spray, I've got it in hand. So as he was approaching, I made sure that I recorded it to the best of my ability with the bushes there. I did open my door. That way, of course, with the pepper spray, if he pulled anything, I had easy access to defend myself. He mean mugged me as he walked by. That's part of the reason that I really felt the need to pull out and record him instead of just continuing the recording I had at the time. I figured I needed to stop what I was doing and pay attention to him because he's one of my predators and he was within this vicinity. Now, I'm not going to pretend that he did any horrible thing to me tonight, because guess what? He didn't. I'm not going to go pretending that he tried to rape me or molest me, because he didn't. I'm not going to go trying to pretend that he assaulted me tonight, because he didn't. I'm not going to go pretending that he accused me of being a rapist tonight, because he didn't. I'm not going to accuse him of calling me a stalker tonight, or a child molester, or what was the other one? A murderer. Because he did not say a single fucking word to me. Not one. He didn't threaten to kick my ass. He didn't threaten to kill me. He didn't push me. He didn't shove me. He did absolutely nothing predatory towards me. Although, if I were able to get a protection order against him, with as close as he was to me, he would have gone to jail for it. Because of the things that he's done to me in the past, yes, I can consider him walking that close to me harassment. But I'm not going to, because none of the horrible behaviors that he exhibited that made it so that I had to record him, he did not exhibit any of those tonight, with the exception of staring at me, walking a bit too close to me. And it turned out that he didn't have anything in his hands. I just wasn't able to tell, because it's like a split second that you can see in between that little tiny portion of the bushes where there's a small hole. Let me show you on the bushes ahead of me. Here, there's kind of the similar thing. You've got bushes all over here, but you go over a little bit right there, dead center of the screen. There's a hole through those bushes. If somebody's walking by there, out right there, you can see, and it's also a lot closer there. It's also better backlit there. If he'd had a gun as he was walking by there, I'd see it immediately. If he did not have a gun, I'd be able to tell immediately. He'd also be way closer than I'm okay with if he was that close. However, if he's walking by that part, and I'm parked back there, well, that's about the distance that he was away from me, and I'd only get to see just that split second as he was walking past. Just the part where he's on the other side of that hole. And of course, this one here is actually a little bit low. But, yeah. See, when people do shitty stuff, I do fucking speak out about it. You goddamn right I do. Check your fucking behavior. If you can do that, and you can leave me the fuck alone, and you can allow me to go about my business without threatening me or harassing me or treating me like I'm a fucking chimo, well, then we're in business. Because you're leaving me the fuck alone. And I can almost take care of some of the stuff that I need to worry about and take care of to defend myself and to show that there's actual predators. Instead of dealing with Andrew Wolnez screaming fucking false allegations at me and having to scream that shit back at him so he gets the fucking point. Is he doing anything harmful to me? Right now, this moment? Oh, hell no. And hopefully he gets the point that as long as he's not doing that shit, he won't be recorded. If he wants to come up and talk to me like a human being, and we can hash this out like human beings, I'm totally down with that too. If he approaches it that way. But if he's not willing to admit that he did anything wrong, that conversation isn't going to happen. He made a big fucking mistake. But the reality is, it's just a mistake until he starts harming people over it and starts trying to cover it up. That's the great thing about these drug addicts who have helped me to get my evidence back, who have helped to put a stop to the violence when the police wouldn't, when the police tried to egg it on and encourage it. Couple of people that pulled up next to me and parked. So they got their lights on. They've had them on for a bit. I figure I'll give them some privacy. Whatever it is they want to do back here, they can have it to themselves. There we go. Holy shit, that's a hell of a paint job. It's pink and black. Check it out. Yeah, there's a lot of people here with funky paint jobs like that. There ain't nobody behind me because I want to use my charger and it was stuck into my coffee cup. Anyway, we'll let that feller back there have that parking spot, have their privacy. We can be thankful that Mr. Wolnez didn't pull his bullshit tonight. Yes, I recorded him. Yes, he knew he was being recorded. He could see it. He could also for surely hear that I opened my door. Andrew Wolnez wanted to falsely accuse me of shit that I didn't do. Between giving him equal treatment, going after actual pedophiles, people that for surely are pedophiles, verified by their victims. There are actual victims. That's right. Who are Ted Bollinger's victims? Who are his victims as far as sexual assault goes? Well, you might want to ask his ex-stepwife, or his ex-wives, but for certainly his daughter, Natalie Marie Bollinger. Guess what? Guess how many times she accused me of raping her? 0. Guess how many times she accused me of molesting her? 0. Don't you find it strange that she didn't accuse me of those things, but she accused Tim Beeson and Ted Bollinger of those things? Yeah, there's a reason that she didn't accuse me of being a child molester or a rapist. She knew it was wrong. She knew that was a fucking horrible thing to do to a person. But the other shit, for goddamn sure, she was pressured by the people in her life to do that mean shit. To pretend that I must be mentally ill, off kilter, and oh, yeah, he's just freaking out for no fucking reason. No, Tim Beeson would never fucking threaten anybody for any fucking reason. No, Sean Schwartz must have targeted Tim Beeson because he was stalking Tim Beeson, and you can be goddamn sure that that's the way Tim fucking Beeson tried to play it off. God damn it, I saved the evidence, you stupid sons of bitches. You're just too big a fucking pussy to look. You want a victim who is easy to take advantage of. That's what makes you a pussy. You're gonna tell somebody that they're a pussy? I'm not the one who has to fucking gang up on people. See, that's the thing. I didn't have to fucking lie to a goddamn person. After I got the ability to record, my recording should have done the talking for me. The recordings of people assaulting me. The recordings of people threatening me. Cops didn't want to hear it. Neither did any of the behavioral health places that those bad cops wanted to send me. Clearview, one of the places I was sent for trying to turn in Officer Waylon Lolatai, they're permanently closed down. They changed ownership, kept some of the same dipshits, and guess what? That place is being closed down for doing exactly the same thing as Clearview. Taking advantage of at-risk and disabled adults and fucking killing them. Yeah, that's right. Clearview killed a man before I got there. A man named Kibor Hate. Here's the thing. I'm not going to hate Mr. Wolnez for making a big fucking mistake as long as he's willing to admit that he made a big fucking mistake. If he's going to try to hide that mistake and continue to be predatory towards an at-risk and disabled adult, well, there's other options available, isn't there? And as people keep reminding me, getting a gun and shooting him is always an option. Now here's the thing that bugs me about that all these people jump to that as an option. I don't carry guns for a reason. Shooting somebody is not an option for me. If anybody's going to lose their life, it's going to be me. Bad people kill other people. Good people kill themselves. Natalie didn't want to die, and she didn't want to kill herself. She wanted someone to care enough to help her. But she was willing to accept a bullet to the head in lieu of that, same as I am to this very day. Help me to put a stop to this abuse or put a bullet in my head. These are not simple requests, I get it. Oh my God. You're still better looking than me. I'm jealous of you. Now we have to be mortal enemies. I'm going to have to spread a bunch of slander about you so that people think you're some sort of a horrible person. And then I look like the hero. And maybe my pathetic loser ass can get some of these beautiful women I see staring at you to come touch my willies.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, they're staring. I don't see it.
Right. All right. So that whole story was bullshit, but I still like you. Hey, thank you again. He helped me move some of my stuff in storage. It's on the second story, and I couldn't get in there and back.
Oh, jeez.
Also, that guy who was assaulting me, like, repeatedly, I saw him tonight. He walked past me. He didn't yell at me. He didn't threaten to kill me. He didn't accuse me of doing anything. He just kept on walking, which I'm so grateful for.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, I wish somebody would help me do something about those little kids.
They normally come out around 10.
Yeah. Oh my God, isn't that cool when the clouds come through like this? It's not actually fog. Those are like clouds coming in.
Right, it's actually starting to get a little cold, so they're able to come down.
Yeah, they're being sucked down. All the warmth is heading that way quick.
Yeah, it looks like it. Going out towards the ocean.
Yeah. Now the fog comes in the morning, and sometimes it comes in this time of night, and it's really cool.
Right,
But-
yeah, I've had nights where it looks completely fine outside and I come out like right before midnight. I'm like, what the fuck happened since I've been gone?
Where's my car?
Sam's like, where's my bike?
I was over at Tillamook Sporting Goods, and I was over searching for cigarettes when one of these kind of things came right over the top of the building and basically whited out the whole parking lot for about, 5 minutes. And I was looking over at where I knew my car was, and I couldn't see the car. All I could see was like the faintest glow of the far light on the other side of my car. I was
shit.
I know my car is parked by that.
Felt like The Mist.
Yep.
That movie is.
I've never seen the. Oh, is that the one with the ship, the ghost ship?
No, it's like that kind of, but it's definitely a bit different, a lot different with aliens.
Oh, yeah. I
But
haven't seen
people
it.
are stupid enough to open a portal, of course, which I'm sure people have already done.
Oh my God, that would be so much fun. It's kind of like if
The
I had
Stargates.
a nuclear missile for a penis. I don't think I'd be able to help but press the red button. That's not for lube, son.
That reminds me of a funny comic strip I've seen about Superman. It's like, why does all the girls that you're with keep getting cancer, and he's sitting there with his X-ray vision staring at them.
Oh my God, that is so fun. All right, so I got $9, which is way more than I started off this morning with. I have enough for coffee in the morning, and I'm gonna go get myself a banana for dinner.
So you got enough for some gas.
Yep. Plus, I had some of that delicious food earlier, so I already have some gas. That's not a good joke, I guess. I'm not telling it again.
Shit, that was pretty funny.
All right. Well, it's not 11, so they're not closed yet. I'm gonna go in and get myself a banana.
Still got over an hour.
Well, I was here last night a little bit later than I should have been, like after you guys were closed. But mostly, I was just trying to take advantage of the fact that there were still people here at the store that were going to come out and get in their cars, and they were going to keep going out every night like they usually do. There's one guy who keeps going in and out of the building, and I'm not sure what his job is at night, but he goes in and out and in and out. And I only ever see him from a distance.
Well, there's always somebody here.
Yeah. I was told it would be all right if I stayed here a couple of nights if their safety issues. So, of course, I did take advantage of that. Do what, Miss Lori? Any what? I do have rolling papers, just not tobacco. You have butt? All right. My car is like right there. I got a bunch of papers in it. I'll go grab them now.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Well, be safe, Miss Lori. Yes, ma'am.
You got tobacco?
I don't. I just have rolling papers.
No, sorry.
Hey, there's another one of them honest people. He is too. He admitted stuff that you wouldn't expect a human being to admit.
Should be enough for about 2 cigarettes at least, maybe.
Yeah.
If you roll pinners, probably like 3 or 4.
Oh my God, it's not weed. Okay.
He wishes.
Pinner.
Yeah, you probably haven't heard that forever, huh?
Not since I was back in the day smoking them Job Corps joints. I'm just kidding. I was never dumb enough to fall for that. I'm like, dude, you're wanting $10 for 2 sticks and a stem rolled up in a piece of toilet paper. Are you fucking kidding me? Then you get the kids, they're like the dumbest of the dumb from like bumfuck Egypt, Nebraska, that are sentenced to Job Corps, and they get there and you're like, oh my God, we're going to make hundreds of dollars off this dumb son of a bitch.
Yeah, to sell them some basil.
Yeah. And there I'd be sitting on my bunk. One of them morons would come up to me and ask me, hey man, you show me how to light this? I'm like, you can't light it, it's toilet paper. It doesn't work that way. If you lick it, it'll fall apart. If you light it, it'll burn your face.
Yeah, no, yeah, just fucking go up.
And I don't know what those 2 sticks in there are, but yeah, dude, it really sounds like somebody just sold you some coriander. Now, of course, I didn't take part in any of that kind of bullying and shenanigans, but at the same time, I knew what was going on. I mean, we all lived in the same fucking dorm, and they're open doored.
Right, you got laughed from the sidelines.
Yeah. Man, that poor fucking moron from Broken Bow. He spent $300 in 2 months on Job Corps joints. He's never been high.
Oh my God, yeah, that's sad.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm standing here looking freaky with this in my hand, so I'm gonna go roll it back. I'll be back in for my Nana. All right, I got tobacco. Anyway, like I was saying, if you're not doing fucked up shit, I don't have a reason to speak up about the fucked up shit you're doing. So just don't do fucked up shit. Pretty easy, right? Now, that you're gonna be predatory towards me, I'm gonna fucking speak up. If you're gonna accuse me of doing shit that I didn't do, I'm gonna accuse you of doing that shit right fucking back. The thing is, we shouldn't be going through this fucking bullshit. You really hate chimos that bad. Help me turn in these goddamn chimos. Help me to turn in actual goddamn child molesters instead of harassing me over a bunch of little motherfuckers who got too much goddamn money and too much goddamn time on their hands. When you got a little fucking shithole driving around in a Mercedes claiming that he's a minor, but he wants to try to elicit sex from a 42-year-old man. Well, holy hell, that's fucked up. Now, why does he do that shit? Because he's fucking some rich bitch's kid. Ain't no goddamn 16-year-old driving around in a fucking Mercedes off a goddamn McDonald's job. It ain't fucking happening. Also, he don't work at McDonald's so far as I know. For the most part, these are spoiled farm kids whose parents get subsidies. Guess who pays for subsidies? You, the American taxpayers. While their parents tell them that homeless people are just out here mooching off their professional living. They're a good, hearty American living. And just like Chapel, Nebraska, they blame them blacks and them Mexicans and them hobos and them Jews. They throw me into the Jew category. If I spend too much time in the sun, they throw me in the Mexican category. Christians are a real hateful lot, especially when it comes to homosexuals. So, of course, there's the pretending that somebody's a homosexual. Now, that Wolnez feller claimed that he's seen me smoking blues. And he's going to have to admit that that was a goddamn lie. You want to go accusing somebody of doing something? Bring forth a victim. Go ahead. What are the chances of you finding an underage individual that I have had any sexual contact with in Tillamook or elsewhere? You won't. I have the butane to refill that. I just don't want to dig for it because my back's hurting, son of a bitch. Now let's see if I can make it inside of the building while remaining pleasant. Try to put on my sunshine and happy fucking face. That way everybody in there doesn't realize that all I ever think about is blowing my fucking head off. I'll try to put on my best goddamn game face. Instead of searching around for something cheap I can go hang myself in the bathroom with. I'll go in there and I'll get myself a banana. And I'll abuse the shit out of the fact that people have to be nice at work. Because when people are nice to me, it makes me feel better because so many people aren't. A lot of people are angry at me for recording, but don't care why I started recording to begin with. Hello. Pretty shitty. Been dealing with a lot of these little KKK motherfuckers coming by, throwing fireworks at me, screaming shit at me, accusing me of being a rapist and a child molester and a murderer.
Fireworks?
Yep.
What the hell do they buy fireworks?
Fucked if I know. I got one of them on my dash still, and I took one of them in and gave it to the staff here at Safeway last night.
Oh. Give him a firework?
Yeah. The people at Safeway, no, I'm glad they exist.
Well, you enjoy your night.
Is that Carlos?
It is Carlos. It is Carlos.
Dude, you fucking rock. You hang out with a few dipshits, but I like you. Thank you for helping me get up off the goddamn road out there.
Yeah, I got you anytime.
You rock.
How you been?
Not too good. My back's pretty fucked up. Do what?
You want $1?
Well, thank you.
Here's $2.
Thank you.
Yes. See ya. Have a good night, Sean.
You too.
We're not that bad, Sean.
Well, you notice,
It's some of the other guys.
is that you, Kyron?
No, it's not Kyron.
I can't tell. I'm squinting over the top of that.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm not Kyron.
I'm squinting real hard. You know that guy, hold on a second. Tommy White?
I don't know him.
All right, he's been missing since October 14th. There's a bunch of flyers all over town.
Oh, the one that got was he kidnapped or he's missing?
He's missing.
Oh yeah, I've heard about it. Yeah, how they find him.
Yeah, people were also asking on my channel about Janessa Ray Funkhauser.
I don't know who that is.
She's also missing. Her mom was posting up flyers in Portland. She's missing from here, but apparently she ran away to Portland, and now she's supposedly in Vancouver. Like I said, I find missing people.
Yeah.
Now, the youngin' in there that just gave me $2, I don't know your name, and I'm not going to ask for it. I want to thank you for not screaming that shit like you did that day.
Who?
The guy sitting right behind you.
Oh.
He and I had
He's a new one.
No, he and I had a screaming match over in the
that was
parking
me.
lot.
That's my brother.
You guys look like fucking twins.
Dude, everybody says that. We're 2 years apart. They're both gay though.
Well, so what?
You like it in the ass.
And that's not my business. I'm pretty sure that's probably not a conversation we should be having.
I'm with you, Sean.
Thank you. Anyway, thank you for not doing that again.
Yeah.
Like I told you guys, if you look it up, I told the truth about all that shit.
Yeah.
You know, when I recorded that stuff, I wasn't recording it to be an asshole. I was recording it because I was scared. A lot of those situations, people just happened to be screaming that racist shit at me while I was recording.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's a lot of times where they pulled that shit and I started recording when they showed up.
Yeah.
I'm not a homosexual, but I got a lot of friends that are homosexuals. And like I said, I'm willing to die for them.
Yeah.
It's not like they're out here trying to rape people.
Yeah.
Now, them youngins, there's 2 girls and 2 boys that keep cruising by. I think it's a Denali that they're driving in. But they've been doing it repeatedly. I mean, ever since that situation down there, like I said, I didn't want to record that. When that happened the night that they pulled out the bullhorn, I was talking on my channel about how glad I was that them youngins weren't yelling racial slurs at me. And I was going to end the video because nobody was bullying me. And immediately you get to hear 3 girls screaming the N-word at me. And then right after that, that little fucker gets on the bullhorn. And then they're yelling at me for recording it. I'm like, see, here's the thing. People are pissed off at me recording. But I only recorded because they were being abusive. If they weren't doing anything wrong, I wouldn't have anything to record or complain about.
Yeah.
And there's another guy, he assaulted me like 6 times in the last 2 weeks, Andrew Wolnez, one that accused me of being a pedophile and a murderer and all that stuff over what y'all youngins were doing. And again, like, thank you for stopping that. Like that pushes people to commit suicide and false allegations. Girls do that stuff and try to get men to do their bidding just because you say no. So pretty much all the time I'm recording. It's not as an insult and it's not a hateful thing. Of course I am. But the other thing is, I'm being honest about it. Usually if I'm not recording, I'll apologize for not recording. That's one of the first things I told them youngins in the lot down there. I'm not okay with hanging out with people that are under the age of 18 just because of the implications and assumptions people have. Oh, you were talking to somebody who was 14, 15, or 16, not knowing they were 14, 15, or 16. Well, you must be a pedophile who's trying to groom little boys to touch them. One of the things that's messed up about that, like Kyron Rhodes, for example, he told me he was 22. Turned out that he just turned 18 a few months ago. My birthday was just on the 18th, matter of fact.
Do you know who my dad is?
Nope.
Carlos the Creepiest?
I can't hardly hear you.
Carlos the Creepiest.
That's a weird last name.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not there.
Fuck, that hurts. Alright, I can't find my cane, but at least I found my spare. No, I don't think I know your dad.
Alright, sure. We gotta get home, Sean.
Alright, you all be safe. And don't worry, I'm not pointing it in your direction.
Yeah, I get it.
I remember you now. You're one of the ones who actually talk to me like I'm a person.
Yeah.
And thank you for stopping that. Now that I see you both, he's a lot whiter than you are. Not trying to say that offensively. Anyway, thanks for stopping that. As long as y'all are cool with me, I'll be cool with you.
Yeah, no problem.
You know, and the thing about, you know, you guys being so young, obviously, hopefully you understand why that's so scary for a grown-ass adult.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, y'all be safe. And you, dude, seriously, you're a fucking lifesaver. I got treated like shit by the jailers. I got treated like shit by the cops. I got treated like shit by the fucking ambulance people. And I got treated like shit at the hospital. You know who didn't treat me like shit?
Carlos.
Fucking brown people.
Yes, sir.
You rock, dude.
Thanks.
And you're an asshole, but thank you for knocking that shit off.
Yeah. I'm proud.
Look at that, dude.
All right, but I'm going to tell you something. On my channel, very often and frequently, I speak about how it's the brown people taking care of me, the brown people who see a problem and fucking show up and treat me like a person. And I do bitch that it's probably the way that the family environment is with Hispanic people, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm right. It just turns out that Carlos isn't a world-class piece of fucking shit. It turns out that the 2 Hispanic ladies who brought me food earlier today just weren't pieces of shit. Oh my God, dude.
I bet it was a burrito.
No.
No?
No, it's this little, like, Roleño looking thing, but it's stuffed with, chicken and, cheese and, I don't know what kind of
I'm sure that
vegetable
was
was
good.
in it. It was fucking bomb, dude. Oh my God, was it bomb.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing could have been better than that is if she bought me a fucking 12-pack, or brought me a 12-pack of fucking tamales. Oh my God.
Molly's are fucking good.
Right?
Yeah.
That's about the only thing that makes me go, you know what? I might be spoiled as a white guy, but my family don't cook fucking tamales.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they have to pull up here and pull back. Hey, thank you guys.
We'll get out of here.
Have a good night, Sean.
Have a good one, Sean.
Yep, be safe. You notice he admitted it? You know, they're talking to me cool now. And yeah, Carlos is the only cool person through all of that. Through that entire day when I was arrested for calling 911. Not literally. He's the only one that I knew who was cool at all. The hospital sucked. The ambulance fucking sucked. You know, they didn't do anything to address the problem. Problem is that I couldn't walk back to my vehicle. I wasn't capable. And they gave me some money, which was nice. No, it's not $1 million, but every little thing helps. You know, with the cops running around and doing the shit that they did, that didn't need to happen. Now that youngin' who was admitting that he was the one that was doing that he was the one that was calling me the F word and screaming at me, I better leave town and all that. Yeah, he admitted to it. Thank goodness. And no, I didn't ask for his name, because if he's going to be cool with me, I'll be cool with him. At least he acknowledged that it fucking happened. Carlos is kind of condescending a little bit in the way that he talks sometimes. You can hear it in his voice, but mostly that's his way of being kind of standoffish in a safe kind of way. But he's also a happy, fun-loving kind of guy, as you can probably tell. It was a situation with those youngins that wolnez wanted to come and fucking harm me over. Stuff like what that youngin had done. And like I said, he admitted to it, thank goodness. I'm not going to ask him his name. I don't need to know it. I feel safe enough and secure enough that he's not going to pull any more bullshit. And I feel safe enough and secure enough that if he does, and I run into Carlos, I can probably let Carlos know. And he'll probably at least try to do the moral thing. I don't mean going and telling on him to his parents. I mean going and talking to him and saying, hey man, fucking dude's got a YouTube channel. You should probably be smart before you get arrested. At least we have acknowledgement from the person who perpetrated that the event did happen. They're driving in a white Chevy Silverado quad cab. And they're right. That dude in the back seat was the little brother. He does look younger. He looks a lot more Caucasian. His hair's a lot lighter colored. The gentleman in the front seat had spoken about the guy who was abducted. So apparently they've heard that somebody was abducted. But also on the poster, that's not what it says, is it? It just says that he's missing. Oh, and this is a problem with a lot of Chevy Silverados. You see how it's pissing? You know what that's from? That's from the air conditioner. Carlos has had me pull over to talk to me before, too. Cops did that to me repeatedly, took me to jail, miles and miles away from anything. In Nebraska, they tried to pawn me off all the way in Scottsbluff and make me walk back to Chapel, Nebraska from Scottsbluff with a fucked up back and a bag full of evidence. God bless America, right? Anyway, you see what a difference it makes when you approach me and talk to me like I'm a person versus when you come up to me yelling at me, screaming at me, and pretending I'm some sort of a predator. You know, I'm not interested in violence. I'm not interested in hurting anybody. Alright, so what's for dinner? Banana.
Please remove all items from the scanner stand. Well, if you have your club key and item code, then touch Destiny 0, 1, 1. Weigh your bananas. Please touch set weight to continue. Move your bananas to the banner 21. Set. If you have your club card, please scan it now.
Can she come over tomorrow? Okay, thank you.
Your card has been accepted. How many store providers your total is, and please insert code. Then please wait. System processing. Please remember to take seats. Thank you. Well, if you have your...
So, how does this situation work? Pretty simple. You treat me like a person, I treat you like a person. You treat me like a predator, I treat you like a predator. Because you have no reason to treat me like a predator. If you treat me like a predator, and I speak up about the abuse, you can go ahead and pretend all the fuck you want about any goddamn thing you want. I'm not interested in violence, but I'll accept it. I'll accept that there are people who are violent. Because it's not like we can just pretend they don't exist and they'll magically go away. And both of those gentlemen gave me some money. I got $1 from one of them and $2 from the other. The guy who gave me $2 was, well, we got to hear who's who in that vehicle. We got enough information that it's easy to find them if it's necessary. But you notice they didn't stop to be predatory. They didn't stop to bully. It was a little strange how they walked up to me with the dollar bills, but it's not the first time that Carlos has stopped to talk to me and see how I'm doing. Obviously, I do have an opportunity every time that guy who actually did stuff to me, he admits it. Why didn't I ask him his name? Because it's not important. What's important is the inappropriate police response. What was the issue with Molly victimizing me? Was her victimizing me the major issue? No. The major issue was the inappropriate police response. With Robert Farnsworth. Is Robert Farnsworth the major issue? His predatory actions. Are those the major issue? No. The major issue was the inappropriate police response. When it came to the situation with Tom, was Tom the issue? No, the issue is the inappropriate police response. Molly got away with doing that shit repeatedly to me. Farnsworth got away with doing that shit repeatedly to me. I had to go to drug addicts, admitted drug addicts, for help stopping these situations, and that just doesn't suck. Jacob Pruitt typed, tell me the inappropriate police responses. Well, first of all, they talked over me and wouldn't allow me to finish any of what I was saying. Second of all, they didn't bother to collect any evidence. Third of all, they didn't bother talking to any of the witnesses. Fourth of all, they did this repeatedly with the situation ongoing. Fifth, they kept on wanting to bounce back and forth between I'm mentally ill and I'm not, depending on whichever one they wanted to use at that point in time to ignore me. There's also the telling me that it's not their job, when it actually is. Now, it's not just the inappropriate police responses about the situations with these abuses, their refusal to investigate, their refusal to allow the victim an appropriate place to even write stuff down. See, here's the thing, is that I am an at-risk and disabled adult, and they have to do that job. They have to investigate. Jacob Pruitt typed, what department? Well, this is gonna suck to have to say, but the Tillamook Police Department and the Tillamook Sheriff's Department. There have been a lot of different situations where I've been pawned off on people that these mandated reporters, not just police, but also the people that the police send me to, the mental health places. They refuse to look at evidence. They tell me that they're not investigators. Also, many of them have told me that they're not mandated reporters, followed much later by telling me that they are. What's the difference between the two situations? The first one was when I was trying to turn them in for not doing their jobs, and they didn't realize they were being recorded. The second time was after they had fucked up so incredibly badly that, yeah, they're informed of who I am and that I will likely call. So they have to at least pretend somewhat to do their job. But they don't investigate. They don't write down the names of the victims. They don't write down the names of the witnesses. They won't allow me to write it down or have an appropriate place to write it down. And even though I tell them about the abuse, they refuse to look at any evidence. Jacob Pruitt typed, my dad is a sergeant and not all cops are like that. Really, Jacob? I'm going to tell you something about cops. Because of the abuse that I've endured and because it's nationwide, it's a federal thing. Also, because that's a federal thing, I can turn it in literally anywhere in the United States. Which means if your dad's not like that, your dad might be the only good cop in America. I haven't met one yet. The last time I knew a good cop was in 1987. Her name was Officer Jane LaRue of Longmont, Colorado, and she was a fucking badass. She protected me, my little sister, my little brother, my older brother, and my mother when my stepdad broke her neck. That woman took us to a place that doesn't exist anymore. It's called a safe house. They used to call them battered women's shelters, and there are none. They were all handed over to local police departments nationwide. Those local police departments, the reason that they did that is because there was a few, a very small few, but a few of those safe houses where some of those people had some pretty big cases in the late 80s and early 90s. Depending on how old you are, you might actually remember that. So what they did is in order to make it so that people were closer in tie with the police. The police were going to take over the safe houses. So now when a woman is beaten and she needs a safe place, she goes to the streets and her kids get taken away. God bless America. That's because after the police took all those things over, well, the police can't stop being fucking dirty. They can't stop beating up people they assume to be homeless. And you know what? Sometimes they see somebody dirty and dingy wearing Carhartts, and it turns out it's somebody who's working for a living. Then they have to spend $120,000 to pay Zayd Atkinson. They have to pay $95,000 to, what the fuck's his name? Samuel Leon Lawrence IV. And that money has to come from somewhere. That comes from their annual budget. So then they don't have the money for battered women's shelter for battered women and children. They don't have a place for Officer Jane LaRue to take us because they've all been shut down because some rich bitch got treated like a fucking homeless person. Alright, so we got Jacob Pruitt and this guy calling himself 333 Love. Typing, did you know Jesus was born in Africa? Jesus was a large, dark-skinned African man. I'm assuming that's one of the profiles created by 666 Adavand. He tends to make stuff that's similar. The thing is that police officers doing this shit in Colorado, in Virginia, and many other places resulted in people dying. That means that all of these police officers can be held accountable and be charged with manslaughter or assisted manslaughter. The ones prior to this situation. Because all of this started with an officer named Waylon Lolatai. As far as the officers after Natalie's death goes. He was the first one to assault me and play victim. That's right, Officer Waylon Lolatai assaulted no less than 7 people on camera in 2018, of which I am the first. Zayd Atkinson and Samuel Leon Lawrence IV are 2 other of his victims. Those are the 2 that got a lot of money. Now, Waylon Lolatai is in Boulder, Colorado. Back, it looks like there was a few trolls on here arguing over stupid shit. Yeah, you can go ahead and actually talk all the shit you want on the Jesus on my channel. I don't care. That kind of trolling, it's just not going to bother me. Alright, so this Jacob Pruitt. Hey, if your dad really isn't like that, if your dad's really a good cop, if your dad's really a sergeant, he'll know the truth of it. He'll also probably tell you what a goddamn minefield it is. He might even fill you in on how difficult it is to turn in a police officer even within the department. However, if all cops aren't like that, well, I don't give a shit if this officer is in Bainbridge, Washington, Bremerton Naval Shipyard, Norfolk Naval Shipyard, San Diego, California, Las Vegas, fucking Nevada. I don't get where it's from. I'll send him the information and he can send it to the FBI. Because the situation has already gotten out of hand and beyond the control of local law enforcement. They fucked up at the start against somebody they shouldn't have fucked up with. All these officers assumed that because I was homeless, I was going to be eaten. And they were right. But they also assumed that because I was homeless, that I didn't have any resources. They're also right. They also assumed I got my friend killed. Whether she and I were getting along doesn't make any goddamn difference. The fact is you got her fucking killed because you didn't want to do your jobs as cops. Obviously, I'm not referring to you, Jacob. Someone calling himself Mad Manly, my visions typed Jesus was from Boulder, Colorado, and he was at the corner of a liquor store. You live in Boulder, Colorado. Either that or it's a guess. First of all, that's not the real Jesus. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. And I have to say what, because that's not a person. That's just what's on the corner of the liquor store. Now, if you can tell me which liquor store. Anyway, in this video, I got to speak about Mr. Wolnez and about how he knocked his shit off, at least for tonight. I got to speak about Pun and his girlfriend Tiffany. They were able to get Robert Farnsworth to stop. They were able to get Ashley to stop. They were able to get quite a few people to stop. And same thing with Scott. Did the cops help me stop that? No, they didn't. They fucking made it worse. They bullied me and harassed me and fucking slandered me left, right, and center. There's a possibility that Wolnez's only real sin was listening to stupid cops. The reality is, that wasn't his only sin. He was dumb enough to believe whatever the fuck, stupid enough to target me and harm me over it without finding out if it's true or not. See, a lot of y'all are stupid predators. You harm the wrong person over the wrong bullshit. Doing what ain't. Wolnez did not call me any names. He didn't assault me. He didn't harass me. He kept on walking. As a result, I'm going to take a reprieve from calling him all the shit that he was calling me. Ain't no reason for him to be like that. And I'm glad that at least for the time being he seems to or appears to have stopped. Maybe he finally gets the point. I'm not going to shut up as long as you're predatory. You want me to stop recording? Stop being a prick. You didn't want me to record to begin with? Well, you shouldn't have threatened me. You shouldn't have harassed me. And you shouldn't have thrown your 2 cents in on a situation you didn't look into first. Maybe you learned your lesson about threatening, harassing, and assaulting disabled people. Maybe you learned your lesson about just assuming. Maybe next time you'll approach whoever it is that you were told something about. You'll talk to them like a human being, and maybe you'll even ask to see the evidence. See, if Wolnez hates Chimos as much as he pretends to, if he actually does, and he thinks it's such a despicable act, maybe he'll come take a look at the actual evidence. Maybe he will ask to see it and even help me carry it into the library so we can take a look at it. Somebody typed a comment at the bottom here that is held for review. Somebody calling himself Sleepy Ferret typed hello in some sort of weird lettering stuff. I don't know why it's trying to hide it. I don't fucking care. Good evening. Anyway, Sleepy Ferret typed, oh, sorry. Very cool. Thank you. One of the gentlemen here tonight, I think it was on this video, matter of fact, was talking about how those youngins usually come out and start fucking around about 10 p.m. These kids have nicer vehicles than most of the adults in Chapel, Nebraska. Anyway, if Andrew Wolnez is done with his bullshit, well, I'm still going to make sure that I record when I see him. However, since he didn't start any shit this time, well, I just won't point it at him unless he, well, like he usually did. I say did because the last time he didn't. The last time he didn't start shit, he just kept on walking. Didn't yell at me, didn't scream at me. Yeah, he eyeballed me, but he didn't yell nothing at me. He didn't hit me with nothing. He didn't try breaking my phone again. I think we can all agree that that's better than this guy starting shit with me at Safeway while I'm there trying to change in cans so that I could make some money while he screams at me that I'm a beggar. Screams at me that I'm a child molester and a bunch of other fucking creepy shit. Now, if he wants to try talking to me like friends, then he's going to have to fess up to his wrongdoings. If you can't fess up to the fact that you fucked up, we can't be friends. There's too many bodies because of friends like that. I will not accept you. Apparently I'm having connection issues. Sleepy Ferret typed, I'ma go see ya. Have a good night. Be safe. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind. Well, I was going to try to get back a hold of Jacob Pruitt. JAKOB PRUITTE. He claimed that his father was a police sergeant. Well, if his father is a police sergeant, I'd like to know where at so I can get a hold of that police sergeant if he's supposedly not like that. If he's not a bad cop. There's a lot of complicated shit when it comes to the law, and a lot of stuff that's a pain in the ass, but it still needs to be done. Otherwise, one carcass can turn into many. When I first started speaking up, Benjamin Harvey was still alive. Natalie Bollinger was still alive. Janine Barrett was still alive. Stephen McMillian was still alive. Rand Ingersoll was still alive. Tommy Gallia was still alive. Thomas Allen III was still alive. Morgan Burns was still alive. Yeah. The list is a lot bigger than that. There's a lot more people on it. When I first started speaking out about this abuse, Anna Hunka was still alive. Christine Buhit was still alive. Stephen Green was still alive. Tim Cossack was still alive. Y'all fucking suck. I could use a real cop. A real cop. Not the modern rendition. A goddamn coward with a badge and a gun. Who's protected from any sin he commits, up to and including murdering homeless men. We're not going to go through the list of the dead tonight. There's just too many. I can't possibly remember all of them. It's getting to be about that time of night when the youngins are going to come out and start fucking around. 10:54. Last night when they first started fucking around, it was right after I turned off my camera. Had to turn it right back on again.